Hey guys, today I'm going to just talk to you guys about the New Year's and kind of get your mindset right and maybe start writing down your goals for the year. So I wanted to, because I always get questions. I always get messages saying, how did you do this in a year? How did you find time to fit Beachbody in? How did you do that with a family, with a job? How did this work for you? And no matter how many times I explain it, I feel like people don't really understand what it took and understand exactly the mindset I was in when I started in that whole first year of coaching. When I started, I really didn't know what this was all about. Like, I didn't see the potential. I didn't see that because I didn't really know what it was all about. I just kind of jumped in because I wanted to help people and I wanted to help people live a healthy life. That was my goal. So, but once I got into it, I started seeing the potential. Um, and, after I was running my first challenge, the first month that I started, and mind you, never being in a challenge group before, I didn't know what to do. And that's why I always encourage people to just do it. You'll figure it out along the way, but you just have to jump in. Once you get the people involved, you will be able to run a challenge group. You will be able to figure it out, even if it's figuring it out every day. I was like, I'm going to make this work. I'm going to figure it out. Um, so, after I, jumped in, started my challenge group, I spent a lot of time on YouTube, and I spent a lot of time in Mindy's on Team Go Getter's website trying to figure out what this was all about. I didn't have the new coach training. I didn't have any of that. I just kind of was like, I got to figure this out because I don't know what I'm doing. And I want to know what the potential is in this business. I've heard Mindy's story, but that's pretty much it. So let me see for myself what this is all about. So I would watch, and that's why I encourage you guys to watch videos of people that have done this, people that have been in the business a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, that are successful. Because when you're surrounding yourself with people like that and watching people like that, you think to yourself, if they can do it, why can't I? They're just normal like I am. Why can't I do this? And if you're watching that, and if you're surrounding yourself with that type of positivity every day, then you're going to be successful because you're going to be like, I can do this. And then you're going to put your head down, put your blinders on. Don't see what everyone else is doing. Just put your blinders on and go forward, move forward. Just do it. You'll figure it out along the way. Okay, so let me just talk to you guys. I really want you guys to start the new year right. I want you guys to start off with, just with goals and a schedule. If you're on a schedule and you're going to do the daily things every day, you're going to be successful. A year from now, you're going to look back and be like, wow, thank God I did that. It was 100% worth it. It was worth the times where I was tired and I wanted to go to bed, but I stayed up an hour later to fit it in. So worth it. It just sounds ridiculous when I'm talking about it. But I've been there. I've been tired. I've been to the point where I didn't want to hop on social media. I didn't want to do those things, but I knew that was part of my no matter what. And I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about that. So this next year, I encourage you to write down your goals and to monthly goals and to really write down the steps that you need to take to hit those goals. Talk to your mentor, talk to your success partner, talk to your coach, and develop a plan of action. And, that's what we can help you with. We can help you develop a plan, but you guys need to go out there and do it. We can just be there for support. You have to understand that we can't do the work for you. So, okay, so, going into the year when I was teaching, and mind you, I was teaching 3/4 time. That is not full time, but it's almost. So I was teaching 4 out of 5 classes. Normally, teachers in high school teach 5 classes. I was teaching 4. So I was able to leave at lunchtime and go get my kids and come home, and then I put them down for a nap. And I needed to do that because I needed to get my workout in. And I didn't really work during that time. It was more like for my workout, because I was working before school and at night. So, and that's what most of you guys are going to see that you have to do. I was getting up early. I was getting up at 4:30, sometimes 4:45, depending on the day, sometimes 4:15. And I got up, listened to personal development for a little bit. I read the Bible because that's my thing and that's what I wanted to do. You can read personal development, whatever you need to do. And then I worked. Okay, so I worked for a good hour before I got ready and went to school. And guys, when I say I worked, I did part of it. So I returned some messages that I could on my messages on Facebook, and I posted. And those were the things I could do at that time. So that's what I did. I tried to make my time efficient. So whatever I was doing, in the car ride to school, I was listening to PD. I was listening to the National Wake Up Call from the day before that I couldn't listen to. Whatever the case was, I was listening every time I was in the car, driving to pick up the kids, driving to school, whatever. I was listening to personal development. If I was sitting and waiting, say I was sitting and waiting because waiting to pick up the kids or somewhere, I had extra time, I was posting on Facebook or I was catching up with an email. So every free moment I had, I was doing the business, okay? So then after, I pick up the kids and, the day was filled with craziness. I had stuff to do as a teacher. I was correcting papers. I had to actually grocery shop because I'm a foods and nutrition teacher. So that's what a lot of it, I had to go to the grocery store on my own time and all of that. So there was a lot that went along with my job. It wasn't just I leave and that's it. So a lot of the times I was putting the kids down and working until I got what I needed to do done and then doing a little extra. So yeah, my husband, I had to say, listen, this is going to be a short period of time. I need to do this. This is what is involved in order to succeed in this business. So I was working and found time at night, probably 2 to 3 hours, sometimes more. And I'm not asking you to put in the 3 hours at night. I'm asking you to just take 1 hour. If you really want to go faster, that's when you double it, triple it, whatever. But you guys can all fit in 1 hour. And I worked the business and I made sure, we didn't have the power of threes, but we had the power hour. And I made sure every night before I went to bed, that was done. Did I always want to do that? No. And as I got into it, if you do that consistently for 3 months, you're going to find that you're going to start seeing the success. You're going to start seeing more challengers come into the picture. You're going to start seeing coaches, adding coaches. And once you start seeing a little bit of that, it makes it easier to continue to do it because you're seeing the fruits of your labor little by little. It doesn't happen overnight. It's not going to happen if you work hard for a month. You need to be consistent, and we always say it, and you probably are so annoyed with it. But you can do this if you're consistent. Now, as a teacher, I had breaks, like December break, we had Christmas break. So I worked my butt off during that time, when the kids were napping or when the kids, and there was some downtime. If they were watching a movie, I was working. I wasn't sitting there watching them watch a movie. That was just something that I needed to do at that time. I'm not saying you have to take away from your kids. You have to take that's not what I'm saying. But Melanie Mitro is a great example of this. When she started the business, she said her husband didn't want her to do this. He pretty much gave her an ultimatum and said, listen, I don't want you doing this. This is stupid. You're wasting your time. And she said, I'm going to do this and I'm not going to inconvenience him at all. So she created a schedule that made get up early. She was with her kids when they were, she was present with her kids, and she was working her butt off on the times that she could. So at night and early in the morning, and during a little bit during nap time. And you know what? Her business is flourished quickly because she was consistent and working hard. And she didn't inconvenience her husband at all or her family. So she pushed. And see, you can tell, with my year, it's paying off. I got to leave my job, and that wasn't even a goal of mine. It started to be a goal of mine, I would say, around January of last year, because I was like, wow, this is really possible. I could leave my job. Oh my gosh. Then I worked even harder because I knew that was it. And guys, if you're working full time, you can still do this. There's so many top coaches that have done that. There's a dentist that was a top coach a couple years ago that built his Beachbody business. There was a lawyer that I forgot her name off the top of my head, but she left her practice because it was kind of stupid. She was making a lot more money with Beachbody. So these people are working 80 hours a week. I mean, they fit it in and they made it work. Why can't you? With families and everything. So here's the thing. I challenge you this next year to make it happen. Don't use time as an excuse. Don't use how busy you are, how tired you are. Like 1 year of your life being tired and busy and focused can make the rest of your life 100% better than what it is right now. Having the freedom of time is something that is worth so much more to me than anything. I mean, being able to be there with my kids and not have the stress of work. It was so stressful. So I challenge you to put together a schedule. If you have a lunch break I remember too, when I was there for full days because we had PD or whatever the case is, my lunch break was spent not hanging out with having lunch with my teachers right next door, which that's what I used to do. I was on my computer working and eating at the same time or on my phone. That's what I did because I knew that's what I needed to do. So guys, Scotty Hadd says the same thing during his lunch break. He was on the phone, talking to people, following up, doing all that stuff because that was how he can be he could use his time efficiently. So you need to carve out time in your day and make it happen. When you come home, get dinner ready, get the kids all ready. It is a lot. I get it. But if you want to make this work, you can, and you need to just put the time in. An hour at night, 2 hours a night, 3 hours a night. Some nights you could maybe do 2 to 3 hours a night. Some nights maybe just 1. But do not go to bed until that power of threes or that power hour is done every day. And that's what's going to make you stand out. Getting up early. I remember every time I get up early, even now, I'm not working. I get up at 5 o'clock. Do I have to? No. But I have to in order to move my business forward. I want that slight edge that normal people aren't going to be doing daily. I need to be on that slight edge because I want to move faster than the average person. Now, that's me. You might not be like that, but I'm going to tell you, if you get up early, you'll get used to it. It takes a week to get used to it. What is important to you? Your family. What else is important? Maybe your faith. What else is important? Imagine the freedom of time to spend with those things. Spend reading the Bible. Spend with people that you love. Spend with your family, with your friends. And not have to worry financially when the money, if you could pay your bills, if you can go to the grocery store and buy your groceries. Not having to have that burden on you and being able to spend time with your family. Like that, it's just crazy to me. In the long run, it's so worth it. Being inconvenienced for a year of your life. And I say that and it just boggles my mind. And I'm so sorry if I'm not compassionate towards you, but I want this for you guys so bad that it's like I want to just shake you and say, look at what you can have. The time that you can't get back because of a year, just putting 100%. And then after that, you are just working 2 hours a day, and you might not even have a full-time job after that year. If you put your head down and work, it's unbelievable, guys. So I'm just telling you, you can do this. Create a schedule. Message your coach, create a schedule of what time of day you're going to make this work. Maybe you have to get your workout in. You get your workout in the morning. Whatever works best for you. I couldn't work out in the morning. It just wasn't for me. I was too tired. I wasn't getting a good work on it. So the times that I couldn't do it during the day, I would do it at night. And then I would work the business right after and maybe stay up an hour late. I mean, I was going to bed at midnight, and it's just because that's me and I wanted to move this forward faster. You don't have to go to bed at midnight, but you need to put the time in during the day. Carve out an hour, 2 hours a day of your day, whether it's in the car making some calls with your Bluetooth, whether it's, getting up an extra hour early, posting and going into your groups, inviting, whatever. Whether it's at night, you're spending an hour, 2 hours getting it done, listening, getting on a call. Make sure you're on the calls and you're listening to the National Wake Up Call. That moved my business forward so much because I learned so much valuable information. And I not only learned it, I would apply it right then. I was like, I'm not waiting. I'm just going to go for it. I like what she said. I'm doing it. That's the mentality you have to move forward in 2015. I know I rambled, I always do, and I'm really sorry, but I just want you guys to know that it's possible. It's possible to quit your job in a year. It's possible to have that freedom of time with your family. It's possible to not be financially bound by a job, by, an extra job. I know coaches have 2 jobs, 3 jobs. It's possible if you work hard and you stay consistent. So I want to leave you with that. And it's all about your mindset. You can do anything. If you really put your mind to it and love something, you can do it. And you would see the awesome outcome that's just going to come along with the hard work you're putting in. So I'll talk to you guys soon. I hope you enjoyed this and found some value in it.